Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for the 25th of February, and starting with the ASX on the 4-hour chart here. So a little bit of progress on our move to the upside after confirming an A and a B and a C wave here. Well, we've always had to be a little bit careful because it could be 1, 2, 3 back for 4 and coming down for 5, but because this is overlapping the top of wave 1 here now, if that was wave 1, then that sort of cancels that out. So yeah, all said, everything being sort of equal, we should see a move up there, and of course we can take out, we can go long, well, we could have gone long on these little highs in here really, but just for the sake of it, we'll just go here and we'll talk about this here in a little bit more detail, okay? But before we go there, we'll just look to the upside. So if this is the length of wave 1 here, roughly speaking, then we should be seeing wave 3 longer than wave 1 here. We can do that in a couple of different ways, of course. So we can take this, I need to do it the other way, sorry, I do things visually really, so I don't really, where's my extensions on this? There's no extensions on that. I don't have any either, so I do the upside down, so maybe I'll have to do it upside down. Okay, I'll just do it that way. So that's really the length of wave, that's the length of wave 1 here, right, for that. So then normally what you do is, well, I think it's always good to peg that down here, this one here, because, for starters, but then we can lift that up to there as well. So that wave 3 technically can take us all the way up to that point there. So we'll just clean my mess up here a little bit. But, you know, always one step at a time, so we won't get too excited about everything. But what we can do is we can say to ourselves, well, we're developing support finally on 6.8. So 6.9 won't give us too much drama, but it will a little bit because of the old high here. But 7,000 is obviously there, and 7,200. Was that the old high going back? I'll check on the daily. Let's just check that actually. Let's just let's go to the weekly here for a moment. Yeah, 7.2 here. So 72, my favorite number, 72. I don't know about my favorite, but I just like them all. I like all the numbers. Where were we? Back here. Wakey. So all things being equal, we can go long here. The S&P 500 has got the same count as well. The Nasdaq is a little bit sort of soft. We're not out of the woods yet with this. We only barely touched the 50%, where the 61% is down here. The other weakness in this is this little move up here doesn't present very well as a 5-wave structure. So that sort of haunts me a little bit. So you can see here this move up here. I can see from this low here, I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we've got a nice strong wave here. And I suppose we could call this 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, but we've got an overlap here. So my thing is that I'll just go to a 20 tick chart here. So this is our 20 tick chart. So I normally look at 100, but I just want to get a bit more detail. So an A and a B and a C wave, all that is perfect. But this is, I'm struggling with this here. I can see that this is 5 waves in here for a nice A wave, and then an A and a B and a C for the B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the C wave. So we've got a nice ABC pattern here. I'm just struggling with this here, as I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do it, it's just an overlap here. And all I'm saying is it's just all this is a little bit ugly and it raises a bit of a bell. So what we need to be careful of is this thing coming a little bit lower. And if it was going to come lower, then we need to look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So basically 1 and 2 here, and going up for 3 here and 4 here and 5 here. So we could run into problems, big problems here, having this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave finishing here and coming down from that point. So we really need to be careful about this area through here. So watching the S&P 500 has got the same count, so you watch that as well, see how that progresses and at what point would that become validated for a move higher, and so on. So we just need to be careful that we're not getting a larger A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave in 5 waves here, and then we go up here. So just a little bit of caution around here. We also meet supply levels, so not to act too quickly, but to allow whatever's going to happen here mature somewhat. If you're trading this, then this A wave, let's go back to the, what's the name here? So we've talked about this before here yesterday or something, obviously. So the first high above the level here, and then the next one here. So yeah, the problem is up there somewhere. That's also the 61.8% at the 6850. So that as support would be what we'd be looking for. Okay, so we'll see how we go with that. So that would be a place where we can add as well. So let's just assume we go up to this point. There'll be a bit more of a rough road than that, and then will be the first high above the level. That's what we're really looking for, and then we can go long above that. But we may be able to get a better position lower in here, but just as a point of reference, that first high above the level is what we're looking at. So it's all looking good, but we're not out of the woods because we don't have a beautiful 5-wave structure here. So sometimes we don't always get what we want, but what it does do, it just creates a little bit of weakness at this point here. And like I said, we're going to get weakness here anyway because of the midpoint, the 50, but also the 61.8%, and also because this is where the supply, this is where the dance was before. So we need that as support. Once we've got that as support, then we can start looking at taking out this high, working through the 7,000 and working up to the 7,200, and of course we'll need to work through group 1 here as well. I mean, it's going to be tough up here because this is where the old high is as well, so it's going to be pretty raggedy as well. So take all those sorts of things on board, and yeah. So the other thing here too is the Australian dollar. So with the Australian dollar here, we've got wave 3 here and wave 4 here and going up for wave 5. Now I may be able to extend this count higher, but at the same time, the 8 is here. And we know 8's a profit-taking number, so we need to do the same thing. We need to take profit here as well in that regard. And look, it could extend further. As I mentioned, we could look at all of this as wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and so on. But let's just see how this plays out. And what we can also do here now is move our stop up a little bit further as well. So we could move that. I mean, here it's nice. It hasn't really come back and tested the 5 yet. So that's really at 3979. 792, we'll just leave it in there for the time being. You might be able to get it closer. I need to break it down and have a look at that. I need to have a look at this structure moving up through here. But anyway, we're just edging higher. You move the stop up the way you want. I'm not saying that that's the right place to do it at this time. Just putting it below the 3 because the 9 hasn't, the 795 hasn't been retested as the resistance. So that means we still need to use the previous level, which will be 793. And I don't like leaving a stop at 3, so I always put it at 2. So even at 2, you want to put it at 196 really. You know, you don't want to put it on the whole number. Yeah, anyway, that's that. So that's cool. So just have a look at the banks. Let's have a look at CBA. So with CBA here, as you may know, we've got down here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. So that can be the low, and we can just go straight up from that point. So that's possible. I can't prove that yet. The other point here too is that we can look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here and down for 3 here and coming back for 4 here to the 84. Now with this in mind, we can count this up here as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C for 4 and up for 5 here. So we could do that. So let's just play this out here for this. Let's just put that there as the A wave, the B wave here, and the C wave here. Now that may not be the case. It may be also wave 1 here, but I don't know that yet. We don't know that yet. And then wave 3 would be up here. But what I was thinking is that the 84 is the 38.2% retracement level. So what we need is that level there as the support. So we don't need that. We'll probably see that push up into that space. The other point here is we want to see this here as we want the first high above the level. That's really what we want to see here. And then we can go along from that point. Now you can go along here as well, probably not that crash hot, because I mean I can see we've got this as 1, 2, 3, 3 here, ABC for 4 and 5, but then this one here looks a little bit like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, so it all looks like an impulse wave to the downside. So that's a bit of a struggle. That looks impulsive here, so that's good. Yeah, so that little 5-wave structure, I mean, we'll probably count that a little bit differently, but no, it looks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have to be a little bit careful there. So if you're going to trade long, right, then you'd need, well, let's just break this down again. So from here to the low here, that's the 50-60% retracement level. Just got to go through all the basics, then you'll get, so the penny drops after a while. So 83. Now 83 is important, isn't it? Because it's the top of group 1. So that's getting support there is important. And we could look at this here as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and the corrective process. So that means we can go long above here, but we want to do that a little bit earlier. So what we'd need to see here is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then the ABC pattern here. And then we can go long at this point here. But you're going to have problems at this level here. So you'll either take part profit or all profit and then wait for that to play out again. We'll probably get a better position over here if it's going to move up there. So this is what we're trying to figure out. Are we going to move up? And getting support on top of the 38.2% would inform us that the market will be going higher from that point. And then we can close this off as an A into B into C as a wave 4, and then we can push higher in that regard. Now, while this has been pushing down, we just want to check on A and Z because we had a different pattern for A and Z. So with A and Z, we looked at wave 3 and 4 here. Let me just shape all this up a little bit for a moment. So we're looking for 1 and 2, and that's not there yet, I don't think. Let me just paste that out a little bit. That's the major level there, so copy that, bring that up to there. 28 is going to be a profit-taking number. I'll just sort this out. 1, 2, 3. So just assuming for the time being that's 1 and 2 in here. And we've got wave 3 and 4 and 5 there. And then we'll have an ABC. So yeah, look, in a bit of a nutshell, up close to the 28, I'd imagine, then some sort of ABC pattern that can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and then wave 5 that hopefully will push up a little bit further. But the number 8 here is going to give you grief, but hang in there, and you can bring the stop if we want to talk about a stop. We should do now. So get all the colours right, like going back to kindergarten, isn't it? So we go, I'm just going to put it above here a little bit just to break even, so we don't want to get too close because we want to get past this. Once that wave 4 is in play, then we can move it up to that one. We don't want to move it up to that low because this one here could take that out, and you just can't trust CFD providers, some more than others. I mean, I wouldn't trade with 500 plus, FXCM, CMC. So this is an IG platform. They've shapened up much better since the year 2000. They've improved and all of that stuff. So they're good. First Prudential's okay. Any of the DMAs are okay. I mean, I'd only use sort of DMAs if I was trading intraday, basically. If I'm trading end of day, because I like to buy new highs. So you'll get filled on a market maker buying new highs, because they'll fill you at the next best price, where DMA won't do that. Because the DMA don't do that, because the ASX they don't. I mean, the ASX is a dinosaur, so they don't really. They can't take those type of orders on the exchange. So the market makers have to create them at their end. But yeah, the ASX is surprisingly a bit more advanced in the blockchain space. Australia is kind of running probably around number 5 or 6 behind Finland, and I know Finland's one of them, Norway maybe another one, England, South Korea, some of those countries. Anyway, where was I? Okay, that's that. So that's the banks, okay, to a point. Now, let's check in on our resource sector. So iron ore is down a little bit. So as I mentioned the other day, I wasn't quite sure if that was wave 4 here and we go up for wave 5, or we've got wave 5 in play and we're going to be pulling back here. Either way, whatever happens, we're going further up. It's just do we come back here first and then push up? That's the question. Or do we have a little high here first, then pull back and then go up there? But that said, we are working with large numbers in most of our stocks. So BHP, this is Australia BHP. So in this instance here, as I've mentioned before, yeah, so we've got this little structure up here is not finished yet. We need a little pullback, which we got yesterday, maybe a bit more, and then a little first high above the level. So the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC correction. So we want to either take a percentage here at the level, or just above the level, whatever you decide you want to do, and yeah, then we have to wait for the pullback. I'm going to leave the stop out of the way because we want to accommodate this move back through here. So you can take all profit or part profit at that point. We'll just leave that there. That's still running. That's still the line of the market. Yeah, so 1 and 2 here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave up here. So that's all good there. I'll just check out BHP in the US. So it's up 1% and touching on, well, close to 80. So we know that we're going to get a bit of a reaction there. So while this market's doing that, at the 80, we're going to see our local BHP at 50 do its dance there, so we can expect corrections there. So I think what we'll do in this case here is we'll just take profit at the 80 because I set the thing up here, so we'll just take that and we'll look for a way to get back in over here. Once we got the first high in above the level, we may be able to get a better position than that, but take profit there, and we can clean that up. Right, and let's have a look at RIO. So RIO's reacting to 130. So yeah, as expected for this. So you can also look to take a percentage or part profit here as well, whatever you decide to do. This level. Because BHP, because iron ore can pull back, yeah, because BHP and the two BHPs are facing large numbers, then I treat 130, when I see the 3 here, that's the top of group 1, so we're definitely going to see a dance here as well. But for the sake of it, I'm going to leave the stop under number 2 here, just in case you want to stay in, and that's fine too. Everything is good. Whatever you want to do is okay. I do feel that we're going to be going up higher. It's just the retracement level that we need to be looking at here. So we could go one bit higher actually. If BHP has got one more leg to go up here, so the wave 4 and then this move up here, that means that iron ore is probably the same as well here. So we can just clean this up here. I'm just guessing here though. If BHP is in a wave 4, then we can have a wave 5 topping us out here, and then the ABC pattern coming back, checking, covering the gap, whatever, and then pushing up from that point. So that would probably be how that plays out. We'll just check FMG here. FMG's got a bit of its own mind here. Bit of a storm coming in. Yeah, so we're just going to go along above the high here. That looks impulsive to the downside. I wonder if we've got some, yeah, a bit dodgy here. What we can do here is bring that down further though now. We can bring that down onto that high. This looks corrective here. This looks like an impulse wave, right? This looks like 5 waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we could be going up from this point. So if that's 5 waves here, so an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave. So we'll probably just go up from this point. You could get a small position in here, but there is risk in that. I'll leave that with you if you want to buy a bit of strength across the top here. Anyway, we're still leaving our stop out of the way. We could bring that up a little bit further though. Bring it up under there. Don't need that. Save that. Okay, so what else do we need to look at? I think that's it, because I mean, when you're looking at RIO and BHP, it kind of tells you what the if you're trading mid caps or anything small or whatever, they'll all be in the same boat to a point. Yeah, so you should be able to work out. But anyway, you can always use a trade check, and I'm always happy to have a look at a stock that you're thinking of getting in, or you're in, or anything that you need a hand with. I'm happy to help. RIO, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.